where to start with this, because I've already done this video once, and as I'm halfway through editing it, I've realised, or I've had a few messages through on my phone. You end up in a little bubble when you're filming these things, but I've had some messages through to say that basically the entire squad's pulled out. Well, not quite the entire squad, but 8 members of this squad have pulled out, and already this squad here, my main talking point was the fact that this is a very inexperienced team in 2 games that we need to win. I desperately want England to win this group, and we should be winning this group, and I think it's embarrassing if we don't. But I was already saying, given the way England performed against Greece at Wembley the last time out, that this squad it's a big ask for this squad. There's a lot of inexperienced players in there, even though players have deserved their call up. Kyle Walker, Declan Rice, Jordan Pickford and Harry Kane is the main senior players here. After that, everyone's struggling for at least 20-30 caps, maybe Bukayo Saka. But just as I've been recording this, we have had a whole host of players come in. So Morgan Rogers has been called up for his first international senior call-up. Jared Bowen, Jared Branthwaite, Tino Livramento, James Trafford have all been added because Trent Alexander-Arnold, Levi Colwill, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Cole Palmer, Aaron Ramsdale, Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka have all pulled out, and that has left me even more worried. Already at the start of this video, I was thinking, out of all the prediction videos I've done on this channel, this was probably going to be my most difficult to predict, because England haven't played well consistently since we beat Italy 3-1 back at Wembley. It's been 12 to 18 months. England have lost already this season at home to Iceland. Greece have already beat us comfortably at Wembley. 2-1 flattered us rather than them. They should have won by 3-4-1. I was already worried, and I was finding it really difficult to predict this video in terms of the scoreline. But now we're left with this squad, which is Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, James Trafford, Gahey, Konza, Lewis, Walker, Lewis Hall, Harwood Bellis, Jared Branthwaite and Tino Livramento. How inexperienced is that back line, by the way? Whoever he plays, it's really lacking in experience there. Then you've got Conor Gallagher, Morgan Gibbs-White, Gomez, Bellingham, Curtis Jones and Morgan Rogers, who's deserved his call-up, but again, it's a very inexperienced midfield. And then the forwards of Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, Noni Madueke, Ollie Watkins, Dominic Solanke and Jared Bowen. I think this now is even bigger ask. Go to Greece off the back of that performance, or the back of set-up performances, even against Finland, where we were quite poor, even though we won. England have not played well for a long time consistently, and that's going back to the Euros. Even though we reached the final, we were poor throughout the majority of the tournament. This has made my decision even harder, because that is a very inexperienced squad that arguably is going up against a very strong Greek squad. We have a better team. We are a better team than Greece, and we should be beating Greece. Do I think that this new squad can't beat the Greeks? No, not necessarily. The reason why I have doubts is because we haven't played well consistently for a long time, and it's so hard to predict what England team is going to turn up in terms of how we're going to play and the standard of play that we're going to produce. Never mind with an inexperienced squad as well. At the minute, I would be extremely daft, wouldn't I? With an inexperienced squad such as this, and given the fact the way Greece battered us at home, I would be very daft right now to predict an England win in Greece, wouldn't I? Let's be honest. Going on to these 8 pullouts though, I just think it's embarrassing. I just think it's absolutely embarrassing. Has Lee Carsley do the FA? Did they not speak to the clubs before they call these players out? But also, you've got to think, come on, they're taking the piss, because there's no way 8 of them have pulled out genuinely injured. Some of it stinks a little bit of they just can't be bothered. They cannot be arsed. And there's fans paying a fortune to travel out to Greece this week. Fans paying a fortune to fill out Wembley on Sunday night. And I think you've got a set of players here who, some of them, don't care less. Couldn't care less. And I think this epitomises England's attitude towards the UEFA Nations League. And it goes back to when Hungary beat us 4-1 at Wolves, when clearly the players didn't want to be there at the end of the season. And these aren't excuses. Well, they are excuses, but it's a criticism, a strong criticism on these players. How dare we? How dare we as a country, as a set of players, as a manager, whatever you want to call it, whoever you look at for responsibility for this England squad, how dare we treat this tournament as anything other than one of the most vital things that we should be concentrating on. We haven't won a title, a trophy, a senior trophy, in nearly 60 years. 60 years. And I just think there's been too many occasions, with Nations League in particular, where we're showing it a complete lack of respect. If England do not top this group, I know we can still get through, through a playoff. But if England do not top this group, I think it's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. It is not unrealistic, and I don't care what anyone says, it's not disrespectful for an England fan to expect us to beat Greece, Republic of Ireland and Finland. That is no disrespect to those teams. England should be beating those three. But at the same time, the performances haven't been great. And I just think it's embarrassing. The fact we've picked a squad and within less than a week, 8 of them have pulled out. It's just it's amateur. It's amateur hour. And some of it screams of some players just cannot be bothered to go. And that says a lot about Lee Carsley and maybe emphasises why he isn't the right choice, because players certainly don't seem to respect him. It also really emphasises the fact that why is Thomas Tuchel starting in January? Why is he not starting now? I don't get it. I do not get this. If he's available and we're paying him a bloody good amount of money as well, he either wants the job or he doesn't. None of this, I just want to concentrate on the World Cup. I'm sorry, mate. This is England. The Nations League is a big part of it as well, and the Euros are a big part of it, and everything's a big part of it. And I just don't buy this crap about I just want to concentrate on the World Cup. It's like, well, no, if you want to be the England manager, be the England manager. And if the England FA want him, go and get him and say, no, you start now. It's now or never. And I just don't get it. I just do not get it. And the fact is that in Lee Carsley's press conference, he was saying that Thomas Tuchel has had no input in this squad. And everyone's like, well, no, that's great. So he shouldn't. This is Lee Carsley's squad. The FA is celebrating this fact as if it's like respect for Lee Carsley. It's definitely his squad. What are we talking about? Why has Thomas Tuchel not had any input in this squad? If that is the case, it is ridiculous. Why hasn't Lee Carsley been on the phone to Thomas Tuchel and said, right, who do you want to see? What sort of system do you want me to prepare them for? Any of that. If that hasn't happened, it's just bizarre and embarrassing, and it speaks volumes as to why we continue not to win anything again. There's not this collective approach in terms of what we're trying to achieve here. But going back onto the Greek game, Greece are a strong team. They're playing better than us. England haven't consistently played well in a long, long time. This is now a very inexperienced team. This really is the most difficult prediction I have ever had to give, because England, I would not be surprised, even with this squad, if England went to Greece and won. That wouldn't surprise me. There's still a lot of talented players there, and there's not many Greek players that I would still swap for these English lads. There genuinely isn't. But at the same time, I just don't see it. But it's so hard. It's so hard to predict the England team that's going to turn up and the performances we're going to put out. And you could easily just see some sort of like performance that we did against Ireland away where we were absolutely fantastic, and then going back to like an Iceland or a Greek game where we were just terrible. Absolutely terrible for 90 minutes. Bereft of ideas, and just looking lost. Greece are on 12 points. England are on 9. I believe it goes on head to head. So we can easily win this group. If we go to Greece and beat them, the group is still there for the winning. But at the minute, I just don't see any interest in it from the English players. I don't see a better performance or a significantly better performance coming our way than what we had previously. I just don't see it. I just do not see it at all. But it looks like, at the very minimum, England will guarantee themselves a playoff. If we don't top this group, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's a massive, massive disgrace again in the Nations League. And I'm not happy about it, because being in League A matters. It matters for qualification for tournaments moving forward. And it matters for us playing and beating the bigger teams that we all want and need us to do. England have got to go and do it. I don't think they will. I am going for a Greece victory. I'm going for Greece 2, England 0. And trust me, I'm being very generous here on us. I really am, because Greece should have won 4-5-1. I could see it being more, if I'm honest with you. I hope I'm wrong. I will be cheering England on Thursday night. Of course I will. I hope these new lads can actually come out and show them how it's done. Put the passion back in the shirt a little bit. Show a system that works. Lee Carsley's hopefully better experience and understands his players a little bit better. I don't know. I'm hoping England can upset my expectations, in particular for Thursday night. I just don't see it. I just do not see it all. But come on, the Three Lions. I'll be cheering them on. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As you can tell, I am really wound up about this. It just seems like it's just amateur hour all the time. The way Lee Carsley has been handled, the way these squads are now coming out. What is going off? But anyway, we need it. We need a performance. We need to see back-to-back consistent games from England now, because it feels like a long time since we've had that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on my next video.